Good morning, YouTube, and good morning, TikTok. You are watching live with LWL Lindsay with love, and today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Am I going to look back at these shows like 10 years later and be like, oh my gosh, I've been doing these shows for 10 years? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Thank you for the heart me. Good morning. VIP Deborah is in the house. VIP Catherine is in the house. Thank you for the likes, and thank you for the shares. Okay. I guess I should say like my little morning spiel. Hi, I'm Lindsay. If you don't know me, I'm here to help as many people as I can transform their lives by reminding them how energetically powerful you are. You are a spiritual being. You are energy, as is our entire reality. So once you learn your energy, you can release all of the bullshit limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You can reprogram your subconscious mind to success, and you can live the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, most loving life you could have ever imagined in your entire existence. So welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. The lighting is a little bit weird on YouTube. So let me close. It's always a game of blinds, right? Like, let me close these blinds a little. Now it's a little bit strange on TikTok, but I think it's better. There we go. All right, TikTok, is that okay for you guys? Is everybody good? I'm like glowing on YouTube and I'm like dark on TikTok. Like, what the heck? Good morning, VIP Jules is in the house. Thank you for the heart me. Okay, let's get going. Let's get going. Good morning, Sarah. All right, so once again, Bruce Lipton, my new buddy, he's in my reality. Good morning, a VIP Jamie is in the house. Good morning, friends. Oh my gosh, all my friends are here. All right, so we're talking Bruce Lipton as we do. He is, once again, we talked about him yesterday. He was a super scientist turned more like spiritual scientist, and I love that for him, and I love that for all scientists. He's like a pioneer, I guess, in science in a sense, because he's like, look, science and spirituality go hand in hand. Religion wanted to poo-poo out science. Science wants to poo-poo out religion, and like, let's be real, we live in a reality where both can exist nicely and simultaneously, just like everything can exist nicely and harmoniously and simultaneously. If we were to just like be nice. If we were to just be nice. Thank you for the white dove, Jules. That's so pretty. You guys, one second. I have like I can see a little bit of a lash like just out of the corner of my eye, and that is so annoying. You know when that happens? Kind of annoying. Okay, so I was listening to a video today, and you guys, like, this is not anything new, but there are nuggets of newness, and so I do want to talk about it. And if we have time, I want to go to his website, because at the very end, he talks about something on his website, and I'm like, well, I have to go see. Like, I literally have to go see. Okay. So we're talking subconscious mind, conscious mind. Typically I only talk about the subconscious mind, but Bruce likes to talk about both together, which makes sense because they're working in tandem, right? So let's talk about both together, but before we do that, let's take a deep breath in through the nose, belly nice and full. Let's let it go out of the mouth. Oh my gosh, I've been wondering what this cute little thing looks like. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, VIP Jules. You guys, do you mind 1 second if I check something on in my business? I just realized that we manifest in 1 hour, and I can't remember if I sent out the we manifest in 1 hour email. So I just want to make sure so nobody misses it. 1 second, 1 second. Clone, invite, date, reminder. Oh, I didn't. All right, 1 second, guys. 1 second. This is a brief pause. Programming will return in 1 second. Anybody? What is it? See you in 1 hour. You know what's awesome is when you're so good at what you do and you have things already situated that you can just do something live in 1 minute. Literally, this just took me 1 minute. And now everybody's going to get an email that says, see you in 1 hour to manifest. Let's go, Manifesting Club members. We're about to pop off, by the way. We're about to pop off. Because this full moon is in Sagittarius and it's going to help us release our limiting beliefs. Ooh, I'm back in League D1. Go, girl. Go, girl. Let's go. All right. Bruce says, my buddy Bruce Lipton, he says that when the conscious mind is in thought, by default, the subconscious mind is on autopilot. Huh? Stay tuned for your regularly scheduled program. Exactly. VIP Deborah says yes. Oh, VIP Mel L, welcome to the show. We'll miss today at a conference in Milwaukee. That's okay, girl. I know that you're boss. You got to do what you got to do. I was like, I didn't get it if you did. LOL. No, I didn't. But that's funny because I was like, okay, all I had to do really, literally, this is all I had to do. This is like how good I'm getting in my business. And this is not like to brag, it's kind of like a humble brag, but it's like, I'm just proud I've come this far, which is I just clicked clone. I changed a couple words, which is what I always do. And then I hit send and now everybody's getting the email. Literally, it took me like, what, 1 minute? That's awesome. So thanks for being patient with me for that 1 minute. Bruce says, when your conscious mind is in thought, by default, the subconscious mind is on autopilot. He says, you're walking down the street, you're driving home from work, a thought comes into your brain. Now you're creatively imagining, you're using creative imagination, but somehow, some way, you still make it to the cafe, you still make it home. How the heck did you do it? How the heck did you do it? You're on autopilot. You've gone that route so many times home from work, from that awful, cold, super cold, poor lighting office with the fluorescent bulbs, so many times that you don't even have to think about how to do it anymore, right? So you've walked to the coffee shop so many times from where you're at, you don't have to think about it anymore. You just do. So very proud of you. Thank you for that, VIP Deborah. Thank you. And so he says, when thinking, your conscious mind, now the conscious mind is the mind that has the wishes and the desires to create in this reality. So he says your conscious mind is engaged in creative imagination. Cool, I like that. And he says, so once again, the subconscious mind is in control, because you can't have both working like well, they work simultaneously, but if you're thinking, then you're thinking, which means your behaviors and your actions are like what's kind of moving you forward, because you're thinking, you're focused on thinking, right? You're driving home and you're like, oh my gosh, should I pack Jimmy's soccer cleats for his game tonight? Shit. And you're thinking about it and you're thinking about it. Maybe you call your partner and you're like, does Jimmy have his soccer cleats? Oh no, I see him on the sofa. Oh shit, right? But somehow you're still home. And Jimmy's at his soccer game without his soccer cleats. Oops. What? That's my creative mind in imagination mode. So he says that the average person, now this is where we're like following a trail, right? So he says the average person is thinking 95% of the day, which means 95% of your actions and behaviors are on autopilot. Oh, well, now we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Don't we? By the way, you guys, I feel way better today. So I don't know if the smoke has cleared. I don't know if I just like cleared it myself. Yesterday I said, God, release this from my body. I said, I would like to be whole, cells vibrating in perfect harmony. I'm done feeling like this. So release, let it go immediately, I said to God. And now I feel way better today. So maybe that was it too. Maybe the smoke is gone. I don't know. My in-laws live in Canada on the West Coast, and they were talking, she was my mother-in-law, well, she's technically not my mother-in-law because we're not married, but you get what I'm saying. She was talking to me and she was like, the fires are really bad here. And I was like, yeah, people were telling me. And I'm like, maybe this is my sore throat, is like allergies. And she was like, probably. And I was like, all right, cool. Barbara, welcome to the show. So he says, you're on autopilot 95% of the day based on the programming coded into you before you were born and the age of 7. Okay, we all know this already. You know you were coded. You know you get to uncode yourself. He talks about it at the end of the show. And there's a thing that I learned today that I had not learned yet. So I was like, oh, but it makes total sense, right? It makes total sense, logically. He says your mind is not controlled by your conscious mind, your wishes and your desires, but your mind is controlled by your subconscious mind. So now we kind of can figure out how like some people just feel like manifesting is fake. It's phony, it's woo-woo, it doesn't work. Well, if you're trying to manifest and you don't realize that there is this subconscious mind aspect to it, and you're trying and you're trying and you're trying and you're exhausted and you're pushing with all this human effort and nothing is happening, and you don't know about the subconscious mind, then I could see how people are like manifesting is bullshit. I could see that. I get it. Because you don't know all of manifesting. You think you just throw something out there and it comes magically to you. Wrong. You're wrong. Not that I live in a world of right and wrong and I really don't care, but I'm just letting you know that's not right. She's your mother-in-law. The government's paper doesn't disclaim your relationship. Yeah, exactly. We're just like an awesome mom. Like, your storytelling is so natural. I get completely drawn in. Really? Thank you for that compliment, because you know what? I thought it sucked. I'm not gonna lie. And in fact, I was working with ChatGPT, like I would say like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, ChatGPT, can you make me, like, teach me how to be more exciting and engaging and like tell the story in a more exciting way? Because typically I just go in chronological order, which doesn't do the story justice, right? You're supposed to start at the most exciting point and then go backwards. Whatever, there's rules, and I'm like, oh, this is a lot of work. So thank you for that compliment. I appreciate it. Emma, welcome to the show. Welcome back. I think you've been here before. VIP Deborah says, already all of that, Lindsay, what are we going to do with you? I don't know. What are you going to do with me? I ask myself that sometimes. I'm like, girl, what are you going to do with yourself? I'm just out here living. That's actually really good confirmation too, by the way. So once again, thank you. There's rules in storytelling, right? I know. I was like, oh my God. Oh. If you want to be like a really good author, which I'm not trying to write fiction, I do think someday I'll write a book. I just don't know when that is. I sit down often to do it. It doesn't happen. My 6-month transformation was to have a book done. That's not going to happen, and that's okay. I'm not even mad about it. I just know, like, when it's my time, it's my time. But I will say, sorry, there's this little eyelash is just driving me crazy. I will say that when I start to do interviews, I think it's going to be very helpful. This storytelling, whatever. So thank you for the confirmation. In divine time, yes, you're right. In divine time, exactly. VIP Cancer says, I don't think my Mercury Cancer will ever believe that. Well, the interesting part, yeah, Mercury and Cancer, it's very intuitive conversation for you, Catherine, VIP Catherine. For me, my Mercury is naturally retrograde in Pisces. Like 0 degrees, a couple minutes in, and I'm like, oh, yeah, like, thanks for that. Thanks for that. VIP Jewel says, my daughter's step-grandpa told me that the key to being a good writer is to be good at the art of conversation. Okay. You guys, this eyelash is driving me. I want to just like, these are like obviously my natural lashes. I just want to rip it out, which I can't. Oof, maybe you need rules then. Well, that's why I'm naturally better at writing. Because from a Mercury retrograde perspective, I have to really like think the whole thing through. And then I can like put it out in a way that makes sense. And if you think about Mercury, Mercury rules 2 different planets, or 2 different signs. Gemini, collecting data, Virgo, making the best use of it. And so with my Mercury retrograde, I have to like, most people like collect the data, say it. I have to like really understand all of it, like integrate it and then say it. That's why I do a lot of experiments on myself before I give them out to you guys. Because I'm like, I don't really know if like what I'm saying is gonna work. But some people just like go, they just go, there you go, it works. And I'm like, are you sure about that? All right, anyway, you can't let that shit control your life, right? So I don't. Also, by the way, like a big part of me making money is at second house, Leo rules my second house. So I have to be entertaining, which I was like, oh shit, my introverted self has to be entertaining, great. Great. Laysai. Okay. Now Bruce Lipton tells us, he says, your life is the printout of the programming that has been coded into you. Okay. He says, so look around. Look around, people, look around. What is so easy and natural to you? What is so easy? He says, you don't even have to go to your mom and figure out what she told you. You don't, and I was laughing because I'm like, you guys know I just talked to my grandma about like our family history and like the energy that's been flowing through our family, right? And he was like, you don't have to talk to those people. And I was like, thanks, Bruce. Thanks, buddy. And he was like, all you need to do is look around you. The things that come very natural and easy to you, guess what? They're part of your programming. Woohoo, that's awesome. The things that are really hard for you, that seem like you have to put in more work than anybody else, those are either not part of your programming at all, which means you just missed out on it, which I think is the best way if you're not going to have it, right? If it's hard and you don't have it, that's the best way. The other way is if it's really hard and you have the programming, but it's super negative. And remember yesterday we learned that 60% of our programming is self-sabotaging, limiting, and negative. Oh, whatever. Okay, we've got a flash goal. Who wants to play? 9 gifters send a rose to my live in 15 minutes. Okay, well, we got 11 people in the house. Great. You know, it's what I've noticed about my lives is because I don't go live Monday through Friday. Thank you, VIP Jamie. Thank you, VIP Jules. Thank you. VIP Deborah. What I've noticed is that I don't go live every single day of the week anymore, and so my viewers are really low. But that's okay. I don't mind. VIP Mel Al is in the house. Thank you for the rose. Thank you, VIP Brenda, for the rose. Good morning, VIP Brenda. I didn't see you jump in here, sneak in here. Good morning, Greg. Okay, let's keep going. So I think that's like really like nice, right? Because you can just simply figure out pretty quickly like what's really easy for me and what's not. It was really easy for me to promote my skill set to an employer. I was really good at that. Like I could like almost get any sort of raise I wanted to get. I would give myself like $20,000 increases when I would switch a job. Like I was good at making money from somebody else. What I found that when I came out to do my own thing, when I started selling my creations to the world, it was a little bit trickier. It was like, oh, this is what I designed. This is what I made. Do you like it? Do you want it? How much you want to pay for it? You sure? Right? So that's like an interesting programming. Now, I think it's really weird because my dad was a very successful entrepreneur. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I have the programming of an entrepreneur. One time my dad goes to my sister. By the way, my sister is like kind of the wildest one of us all. From a younger age. Now I'm probably the wildest one of us all from an older age. And if you're watching, sis, love you, girl. You're my bestie. And, which I know she's not watching, so that's okay. But I can tell her about it later. When she was younger, she was kind of crazy, doing wild things. Nothing bad, just like oh, like chaos all over the place, dating like the worst people and just like making weird choices. And I'm like, girl, get it together. And one time, my dad told me, he was like, your sister is the only one who has it together. I was like, literally what? Like capital WHAT question mark, what? And I was starting to think about that. I was like, my brother is like a successful business owner. And at the time, I was building out my other business. And the only thing that I could really put together was that my sister was still working for a corporation. And I think in his mind, he was like, my brother and I are crazy because like we chose to follow in my dad's footsteps and become entrepreneurs and like take charge of our own finances. Like not let anybody else tell us how much we are monetarily worth and like go get our abundance from the universe, right? Just like my dad did. But maybe because he knew about like the hustle and the grind of it all and like he was very like didn't want to delegate work or anything. He was like a one-man show type vibes. So maybe that's why. I don't know. But it was really funny. I was like, oh, weird. So anyway, what are the printouts of your programming? What are you trying to manifest? Is it coming natural and easy to you? Or is it being is there a little bit of tension? Is it a little bit sticky? This eyelash is still bothering me. And lastly, is there programming? Like, you know there is, right? Because if you're trying to manifest, you're doing everything right, thought, speech, emotions, actions, and it's still really not coming to you. One, you're either in the middle of a manifestation, so stay patient. Don't self-sabotage and turn around. Don't turn the car around, okay? We're in the middle of the road trip. We're 6 hours in. You're like, oh, I forgot my toothbrush. No, you go to the store when you get to your destination to buy a new toothbrush, you weirdo. Like, don't do that, right? So we're gonna keep going forward. But the other thing could be is there a really deep-rooted belief that I'm not thinking about, that I don't even know is programmed inside of me, right? You guys, I'm just feeling so good today. JC, welcome to the show. Don't turn around in the middle of the road trip because you forgot your toothbrush. That's crazy talk. My favorite thing to say when we leave for a trip, by the way, is if I don't have it, I always tell my man, like, he's like, do you have everything? And I'm like, if I don't have it, I'll buy it. Literally, I'll buy it. He was like so dogging on me, you guys. He was dogging on me on our last trip to Michigan because leaving South Carolina is going to be 90 degrees. Going to Michigan was going to be 50 degrees. And he got home 2 hours early. I had not packed and he's like, let's get on the road. And I was like, ah! So it was just like crazy town packing, like throwing the things in. And I packed in like 10 minutes. And I ran out of the house and I didn't grab a jacket. And I was like, shit. And we get halfway like through and I'm like, I don't have a jacket. And he's like, seriously, you didn't bring your jacket? And I'm like, I did not. I have a sweater. I was like, but I'm already cold and we're like already there. And I was like, it's okay. Like my sister has a jacket. She lives in Michigan and it's cold. Like there's tons of jackets. My mom has jackets. Like it won't be a problem, right? But he was still just like kind of dogging on me. And I was like, well, it's your fault. You made me pack so quickly. And he's like, I didn't make you do anything. You manifested me coming home earlier. Because I did say, like, let's start our trip early. Like, wouldn't that be nice if we could get on the road earlier? And then I manifested it and then kind of shot my own foot because I wasn't packed and ready. and then karma. Instant karma. We get to my sister's house. And which, by the way, we stopped at a hotel for the night before. But he was like so anxious to get on the road again that he was like, let's just shower when we get there. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, let me at least wash my face and like brush my teeth, right? So I do that and I'm like, okay, I'll shower when I get to my sister's, freshen up, and then we'll go out to dinner, whatever. We get to my sister's and he's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, what? He's like, I forgot to pack my boxers. Instant karma. I was like, that's what you get. He's like, yeah, well, I noticed it last night when I had my suitcase open. I go, that's why you wanted to drive straight here and not shower. He goes, yeah, because I ordered it on Amazon to the house, so they'll be delivered to your sister's house by the time we get there. And I was like, you're a brat. So the rest of the trip, I was like, instant karma. And he's like, whatever. You know, we were teasing each other. No, he actually was able to like, it worked out. We just got to my sister's, the package was there, and he was like, well, now we'll shower, get ready, and go. But it was just funny, right? It was just like an instant karma moment. I love those moments. Especially when he's dogging on me first, and then I get to like, you know, poke at him a little. Cracks me up. Okay. So what's the programming? Are you negatively programmed? Are you neutrally programmed? Or is it easy programming? And by the way, take advantage of the easy programming, right? Like a lot of people have like really powerful energies, like aspects in their charts, like trines, grand trines, things like that. And it's so natural that it's almost like they don't tap in because it just is like their energy and they don't realize like the power of, right? Great idea to order it there. Yeah, he's sneaky like that. He's like, well, it'll be there when we get there. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna have to figure out if I have that, VIP Deborah says. All right, so look at your dreams and your wishes. Once again, if they aren't manifesting, look to your subconscious for insights into beliefs not supporting your dreams and your wishes. He says, now this is where it gets kind of interesting. He says your conscious mind can use creativity and solve the problem. So say you're like, okay, well, I'm somebody who self-sabotages all the time. So I'm gonna start, and I know that about myself. Like I know I'm a self-sabotager, which this is just an example. I'm not a self-sabotager. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. And he says, so you go read a self-help book or 10. And for whatever reason, like those books in those moments, you're like, oh, it makes perfect sense. There's all these tricks and whatever and whatever. He says, but you still self-sabotage. He's like, well, like, why is that? And he says, well, because the conscious mind can learn right away. He says, but if you want to change a habit, which is what the subconscious mind is, the autopilot, the automatic behaviors, he says, you've got to form a new habit, right? So of course, we've got to figure out how to build new habits. And I like this. He says there's 3 things you can do to program. And by the way, you guys, like I worked on my money course yesterday. I got a little bit, I won't say sidetracked. It's this close. Like I do need to film the hypnosis parts of the course and the auto suggestions part. Now, of course, I had a very scratchy voice the last week, so I just didn't want to film in that voice. So now that my voice is back, I will be filming those today. And it is going to be all encompassing. It's going to teach you through exactly what you need to do. There is like a billion pages, not to overwhelm anybody, but to start to discover, because how will you know what your programming is, right? From there, you're going into hypnosis with me. From there, you're going to either discover something in this lifetime or past life or past lives. You're going to keep them there, release them. From there, you're getting you're getting audio on like your new reprogramming around money specifically. It's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be very helpful. But like what we really need to understand is this. If you have stuff that's programmed from a past life or from 0 to 7, hypnosis is a way that you're going to help get it out, right? Because if you think about when you're little, he says your brain was in theta. Like our brains don't really completely form into what is completely awake? Beta, I think, until we're past 7. So we're in this land of like make believe. It's really easy because we don't understand the world yet, and we're playing and we're having fun. And even from 0 to 2, Dolores Cannon says we go in and out. Our soul comes into and out of the body from 0 to 2, kind of just like moving and grooving, right? We're just enjoying this like new physical thing we've got. We're like, oh, our soul, like we're here, right? And so he says that when you're little, 0 to 7, your brain is in theta. This is hypnosis and imagination phase. So hypnosis is how you can rewire your brain. Now you're in theta state right before you fall asleep. Asleep is delta. So you're in theta right before you fall asleep and right when you're starting to wake up in the morning. So Dolores Cannon she teaches about like how the body kind of shuts down to sleep. Like first you close the eyes, then you kind of sink in, your hearing turns off. Nobody really notices that, but your hearing turns off. And then when you wake up, usually you'll like, maybe you haven't opened your eyes, but you start to hear the birds chirping, right? Tweet, 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 tweet. And you're like, okay, now I know it's morning. And so in those stages where your ears are just starting to close down or just starting to wake up, that's theta. And so when you're in theta, you can listen to the audio of The Life You Desire. I created one for me. It's 10 minutes long. And in fact, I went as far as creating a video of it for me, where I took pictures on Canva. I created an entire video. I took faces, my partner and my faces, our little dog, superimposed them onto images I desire in my reality. I have the whole thing. I haven't been listening to it lately. What the heck, Lindsay? I fell out of that routine, but I'm going to start again. So he says, all you need to do is take your program and listen to it, and you will theta starts to take this program and download it into the subconscious mind. Basically, hypnosis bypasses your conscious mind. Okay, so step one. So I learned how to be a subconscious reprogrammer, QHHT, through Dolores Cannon. So check, got it, figured out. Okay, next. He says, what about if you were programmed after age 7? Well, that's actually pretty easy because that's your own doing, right? Think about it. If you've never learned to play the piano, you would go to piano class, your teacher would teach you, you would go home, this was me, I would go home and my parents would make me sit down at that damn piano and practice for like hours. Not like, oh, you must practice the piano, but like, Lindsay, did you practice your piano today? And I know I didn't practice my piano today. Like, go upstairs and practice your piano today. We're not paying for these classes for nothing, right? I had a really long reach. I could go past an octave with my long fingers. It was good. I was good. You did a mind movie, you listened to Joe Dispenza. Yeah, exactly. I basically created my own mind movie. And yes, I first started learning all this through Joe Dispenza when I had my first, like the beginning of my awakening back in 2019. So, and Hansi, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. Sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. So all you have to do is pretend you're an athlete in whatever it is you're trying to reprogram, right? So step one, for this part of it, you need an awareness around what it is that's screwing you over. If you keep choosing the same loser boyfriend, sorry to the loser boyfriend. If you keep choosing like the same, like say for example, you want to change up your personal style, but every time you go shopping, you go to the same stores and you buy the same 10 styles, silhouettes, but you really want to be like cool girl energy over here, this girl's vibe, like you love her aesthetic, then you gotta start buying different clothes, right? It's not that hard. But you just have to start doing it. And then you do it, and you do it, and you do it. You pretend you're an athlete, you're a shopping athlete for your new girl aesthetic. And because you're a shopping athlete, you never pick the old comfortable version, you pick the new, improved, transcended version. And then it's just routine. And nobody can do your push-ups for you, so sorry for that. I can hypnotize you, and I can help you clear old programming from before, but I can't necessarily go to the gym and like, all right, girl, I'm like down here, spread the legs, move the arms, spread the leg, move. Like, no, you have to do it, right? Do your own jumping jacks. So do the damn thing. And it becomes like, it ends up becoming so real. At first it feels not real. And then it becomes so real because it's now part of your programming. So I like to think about when I first started on my TikTok journey, it was so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to make videos. I feel so weird on the camera. Going live, right? You guys saw you've watched me grow. Most, like my OGs that are here, you've been here since day one. You've been watching me. And it gets better and better and better every time. And there's some days that are just like, I'm tired, I have low energy, whatever. But most of the time, I feel like I'm getting better and better and better. JC Wolf, I'm just level 1 because that's all you need. I really don't buy into like their level 2, 3, whatever. I just simply think it's just a way for them to make more money. Ooh, I said it. You don't need more hours. Sorry, shout out to Dolores. Love you, Grandma Dolores, but they're trying to make money off you, lots of it. So level 1, I don't really think about this. I don't care about the certification. I just wanted to learn from Dolores. Like, I wanted to know how she does it, right? Because if you have good life experience in something, you don't need to be certified in that shit. You just know because you transcended. You had that challenge, you had that whatever, and you rose above, right? So I used to be big on like, I need this I need to be certified in energy healing. I need to be certified in this. And it's like, no, I just know naturally how to do it, but I just want to make sure I'm doing it right so I don't like mess somebody up, right? I don't want to like accidentally leave somebody in their past life. That would not be good. They're like, help! And I'm like, bye! Anyway. Anyway. So then the final thing he talks about is, anyway, so like I do my TikTok videos and now it's so natural to me that I could just like TikTok video, quick, 5 minutes, done. I give myself 30 minutes on my daily calendar for TikTok to make 2 videos, but really it doesn't take that long. Sometimes there's research involved or like the creative like part of it maybe takes me a little bit longer, but like to actually do it, just like film, edit, put the hashtags, put the things, very fast. Because I did it, so I've done it so many times now. Put this on, put the volume down, type, post. Easy, right? JC Wolf says, I have been wanting a past life regression for years. I'm coming out of the hardship phase of my journey, so need money. Yeah, you got this. I actually haven't done a past life regression, but you can do one for yourself. You can do one for yourself. Or you can go like, another way to do it if you don't want to actually like sign up for a past life regression is find a YouTube video that's free that takes you on an Akashic record journey. And you can go up to the records, you can meet somebody that's going to show themselves to you once you're in your library. And even if you don't get to open and access like the book of records, you can talk to somebody that's going to come forward for you and ask them what you need to know. Or you could just ask your higher self today, like, what do I need to know? Is something screwing me over? Like, what's the next step to take? Your higher self is going to tell you how to get exactly what it is you want. But most people, and I think this is where the conflict comes in, conscious mind, subconscious mind, higher self, ego is higher self says do X, Y, Z, and ego's like, oh, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to do that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Clutch my pearls, right? But you're like, you have to do that. Growth is not like a skip in the park. Growth is like, oh shit, here I go. All right. Finally, he talks about belief change modifications. He says there's something called super learning, and he says there are practices where you can rewrite a new subconscious belief in 5 to 10 minutes on his website. So I said, oh, I better go to his website. But then I ran out of time. I wanted to be on time for my show. I was technically 4 minutes late, unfortunately. But I did pretty good this week on being on time at 9 a.m. And so should we go there now? Because we have about 10 minutes to talk about it. Let's do it. The last thing he says, really briefly, before we look at these change modifications, he says if you aren't getting what you want, maybe it's not that the universe isn't trying to give it to you. It's 95% of the time that your own program is keeping it from you. Ouch. Damn, Bruce, like, why do you have to go so hard in the paint? That's not cool. Resources. Belief change. Okay, here we go. I found it so fast. In this 20-minute video, I don't have time to watch a 20-minute video. Oh, I see. Yeah, he does this thing called Psych K. I remember this. I learned about this already. Oh. It's a lot. Basically, he's like, go to my website and then I'll sell you a bunch of programs. Of course, right? You guys, at the end of the day, all you really need to do to reprogram your subconscious mind is this. Create your own mind movie like Joe Dispenza talks about. You don't even have to buy one from him. You can do it yourself in Canva. You can put your face on different people's faces. Like I have one where it's like, I'm saying a lot today and that's very annoying. I was listening to coaching yesterday and there was a girl, and as she was coaching this video, she was saying every 2 seconds, and did I just pick it up from her? I don't know, but it is like delete. It's so annoying. So in mine, there is a part where I talk to myself about the yacht because my partner and I want to retire on a yacht and kind of float away into the sunset. And so in my video, I found a picture of a yacht on Canva, and there was a woman and a man, and they were cheersing like champagne. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll take that all day, right? Although I really don't like to drink champagne or drink much, but definitely not champagne because it like bloats me up. But whatever, once in a while, I guess it's nice to have a champagne toast. So I just cut my cute little face out, put it on that lady's face. I cut my man's face out, put it on the guy's face. It was like at the tops of our bodies. And then I put a picture of Pippi and I plopped her on the boat too. And I was like, there you go, easy peasy done. JC says, Philia, I've been wanting to do one as well. I know I've been here many times. Yeah. Well, I guess what I could do, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it yet because I know how to take people through one. Like really easy. Like not like so deep. By the way, also with this whole QHHT thing, once I realized like it's probably not a good idea to hypnotize people online because I don't do in-person work, it's kind of where I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do with this information? But then I got very resourceful and I found that I don't have to take people all the way super deep. I can take them just enough deep and they'll still get answers. And so I did this for myself. I learned it, right, through Dolores again. And I did this for myself. And I went into a past life where I was, I started off in a prison cell, like in a dirt dungeon prison cell. It was really wild. And I think I shared this with you guys when this happened, but basically I was going back into like important days in that lifetime because where I started was like I'm in prison, like I'm like in dirt, like I don't know where I'm at, it's dark. And I could kind of like, I felt like, you know, back in the day maybe they had underground prisons but they just had the cage and you could kind of see people walking. Maybe I'm just making that up, but that like was what it felt like. And from there what happened was when I went back in important dates, what I found was that I was like a man and I was like an alchemist. Like I was working with chemicals and like I had like a library of like my studies and notes, which is like so just like go figure, of course. And I was raided. Like they came in and they just like smashed all my shit, like all my work. And for whatever reason, like I didn't really like get further into like all the details of it, but basically I was raided and that's why I ended up in prison because I was like doing things like in secret and like that's so just like Lindsay coded in this lifetime. Like I'm like, ooh, maybe I can figure this out. And like nobody needs to know, right? So there's that. And in that time period, I ended up kind of like feeling silenced because I like got scared because I had all this knowledge, but I couldn't like tell people, right? Because I was getting raided and then I went to prison. So it's very like kind of the story of my life, which was like for like a long time I was like kind of in this push and pull of like, do I really like come out and say that like share my spiritual awakening, share about my Kundalini rising, share about my clairaudience and my channeling and like this knowledge that I have. And then finally one day I was just like, well, why not? Like, just do the damn thing. Like, just go for it. Just went to 5D first time a couple of days ago. I realized I was holding on to fears. Yeah. Yeah, fear will keep you stuck in this 3D matrix for sure. But of course, you know, that's what the powers that be want. They want us in fear. They want us to be afraid to share our spiritual gifts and our understandings and our intuitive powers because it makes you controllable. And like, nobody is the boss of me. Guys, last night, this is like how much nobody is the boss of me and like how just like, oh, annoyed I get when people like directly try to tell me what to do, specifically like with my TikTok or whatever, this person. And I'm going to assume, by the way, that it was coming from like a nice voice. But the way that it was worded, I was just like, just rubbing me the wrong way. Like, whatever happened to people saying freaking please and thank you? Please? Literally, please? Like, people don't even have manners. The woman wrote on my TikTok this paragraph, honey, she first starts with honey, which if you're going to call me honey, like, I already have a little bit of a problem with that. Like, I don't like that. And she was like, honey, you need to. I was like, okay, mom. My mom doesn't speak to me like that. So I was just like, who are you? You need to, what'd she tell me? Put the sign of the zodiac above you while you're speaking because nobody wants to listen to your entire video when they're indifferent to all the other zodiac signs. I wanted to write back, honey, if you were to just listen for 8 seconds in, there's timestamps. But I didn't. I just blocked her instead. When I say I do not like people telling me what to do, specifically if you're rude about it, like say please. Just say please. It's not hard. Please, 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 blah, 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 blah. I don't know that song. What life path am I? I don't know. I do know. Let me get my numerology. You guys, I'm so nerdy. I studied numerology at the very beginning of like my studies. And I could write numerology reports, but I just feel like for what? I don't want to, so I don't. But I made an entire Excel file that Once you put in your name, the birth information, the date, whatever, it spits out all of the numerology numbers. That's how nerdy I am. Let me get my numerology calculator really quickly. I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about my numerology. I have no shame in my numerology game. All right. I am a life path 1. Does that help you, NEJC? You mind sharing your birthday? I can tell you. I'm a life path 1. Yeah, life path 1. Makes sense, right? Makes sense why I'm a little bit bossy. You know, it's not that, like, it's just natural. That's awesome. There you go. You have leadership. Well, yeah, and my MC, my 10th house is ruled by Aries in astrology as well, which is very like, you are a leader. Like, go do what you're here to do. And what I'm here to do has everything to do with spirituality and intuition and teaching people their awareness. So there you have it. So guys, if you are ready to change your subconscious reprogramming, what did you learn today? Well, you can go create your own audio, which is what I suggest you do, because your voice is the most powerful to you, right? So do that. It does not take long. It can just be something like, I insist upon whatever it is, an extra $10,000 every single month in my bank account. Like, what, I don't know what you want, right? I don't know what you want. Maybe you don't care about money because you have enough. Maybe you want love or whatever. You can have it all, by the way. I have it all, so I know you can. Amanda, welcome to the show. Thank you for the follow. So create like a best day in the life of, a best year in the life of, whatever, and record yourself and listen every night. Now, the hard part is not the recording. The hard part is listening every night, because most people are like falling asleep to the TV, like Forensic Files, or like some investigation, discovery, murder shit, which is so low vibrational. I used to do that. No wonder I'm like, I don't want to be kidnapped. I don't want to be like, my programming is like, watch out, be observant. But it's the putting the headphones in the ears and falling asleep to your own voice that I think most people have a problem with. I was doing it for like a good month, and then my schedule changed or something. We traveled and I didn't bring my headphones. I actually stopped around my birthday, and I even was listening. We were in Beverly Hills for my birthday, and I was listening there. And then when I came back, I guess I just stopped. So I'll pick it back up again. I mean, my whole life is expanding every day, so I'm not too concerned about it. But why not just keep programming, right? Keep programming for more and more and more. Because the more money I have, then the more time I have to learn more, to teach you more, and like make everything really accessible, which is nice. Let's get on, let's manifest together and get on the energetic wave. And then Manifesting Club members, don't forget, we're manifesting together on Zoom in 11 minutes. So YouTubers, I'm going to end the show here. I am so close, well, I'm closer every day to being able to offer this to you guys as well, and like start to form my YouTube community. But until that time comes, we will go to VIP only on TikTok. So YouTubers, have a great day. I'll see most of you on Zoom in a